Hey everybody, so I got a request from my sister to do a beginner's leg yoga class. So here's a short flow. If you are just beginning your yoga journey, it's going to be a perfect thing for you to join. So you're going to start the top of your mat. I'm just going to face you for now. Feet are hip distance apart in parallel. And you will inhale, reach your arms up over your head, take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, hands to come to heart center. Do it again. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart. One more time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands come all the way down by your side. Now root down through your feet. You should be able to feel all four corners of the feet. Maybe even shift the weight forward towards the toes, shift the weight back, shift the weight to the right and to the left to really feel the whole surface area of the bottom of the foot. And once you really feel the ground, you're going to take our arms all the way up overhead, start to lift the heels, maybe just slightly off the floor. And as you exhale, start to lower the heels and the hands at the same time. Easier said than done. Usually my heels go down quicker than my arms, but we'll inhale, lift your arms up just to the height or the top of your breath, and then exhale, release the heels and the hands at the same time. Now, if you find that you're holding your breath at the top, waiting for your arms to reach all the way up, then don't lift your arms all the way up towards the ceiling, right? Just stop your hands wherever your exhale starts. And maybe you can really draw that breath all the way in and get your arms all the way up there. Maybe even get your heels a little bit higher, and then exhale, lower heels and hands exact same time. Right, and maybe just try to find one focal point here that you can focus your attention on. I'm going to do this just a few more times. Last one. All right, now we're going to take the arms out to the side, all the way out and up. And same thing, exhale, heels and arms at the hands at the same time. A few more times. Last two. Last one. All right, good job. Shake all that out. You're going to start back at the top of our mat. Take our feet hip distance apart again, and then bend the knees, reach your arms straight up into that chair pose. Now, if your arms are really tired, you can always have your hands at heart center. You can hand your hands to your hips. You don't really want to feel any muscular tension, too much muscular tension. You'll feel a little bit if you're working those muscles, but no strain, okay? So weight in the heels, sit down a little bit lower. And take some deep breaths here. In through the nose, out through the nose. Maybe sit down just a little bit deeper. And then next inhale, stand all the way up, release the arms down by your side. From here, take a big step back with the left foot. Right toes will be forward. Left toes are slightly turned up towards the left-hand corner of your mat, but not too much. They're more facing the long edge of your mat. And then bend your right knee as deep as you can. If you can get that 90-degree angle in your right leg, great. If not, if you're more like this, just a little bend, that's okay too. So reach the arms straight out in line with the shoulders. Look past your right fingertips. Make sure that you're remembering the back arm so it's not just dropping down. And reach the energy out through the fingers. So the fingers are strong as well. Just a few deep breaths here. And then we'll move this because my thigh's burning. So inhale, straighten the right leg, reach your arms up. Exhale, bend the right knee, hands to the T. Again, inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. 2 more times, straighten and bend. Last one, straighten and bend. Good, now take your right forearm straight on the thigh, left arm straight up overhead. So this is like a modified side angle B, a Parsva Konasana B, right? So if you have a little bit more flexibility, or maybe you're not quite a beginner, you can always take your hand down on the block or the floor, right? Look straight up towards the ceiling and deepen the breath here. So you're working on bringing your right ribs up towards the ceiling. Press the right knee back into space and keep the shoulders directly on top of one another. 2 more breaths. Last one. Good, now look down, press into that front foot. Come all the way up to stand. Turn your right toes in. Turn your left toes to the back edge of your mat. Right toes are slightly turning up towards the right-hand corner of the back of your mat. And you'll come right into that warrior 2 again. Bend your left knee. Try to square your hips and shoulders towards the long edge of your mat. Bring your arms to a T and deepen your breath here. Take a few deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the nose. Keep pressing that left knee back. On your next inhale, reach your arms up, straighten the left leg, just for a little break. Exhale, bend the knee. Again, inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Good, for 3. 4. Last one, 5. Hold this warrior 2. Look, and then look down, bend your left elbow, place the left forearm on the thigh. You should have space between your ribs and that thigh, and reach the right arm straight up overhead. Side angle B modification here. Work on bringing the left ribs up towards the ceiling, deepening the breath. Every exhalation is when you twist just a little deeper. Keep the shoulders stacked. Make sure the right hand doesn't move too far behind you. Good, and then look down. Come all the way up, pushing through that front foot, and then turn both toes inward. So the heels are slightly turned out, toes are slightly turned in. Take your hands to your hips. Inhale, lengthen through the sternum, look up. Exhale, hinge forward with a flat back and take your arms, hands to the floor. And drop your head. Maybe your arms, if the flexibility isn't quite there, maybe your arms are just dangling. If you have some books or something that you can put, maybe even a chair, you could rest your hands on the chair just to stretch out the back of the legs a bit. Shift the weight towards the toes slightly. And then flat back, look up. Hands come to your hips up. Exhale. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, stand back at the top of your mat. Tadasana. From here, we're moving into tree pose. Now, if tree pose, Vrikshasana is not in your practice normally, maybe you start with just the kickstand version. So you would lift your right heel up, turn the foot out to the side, place the heel high, or place the heel on the calf of the left leg, right, and hands to heart center. Find a drishti, so something you can focus on in front of you. And if this is too easy, you can take the foot to the calf, right? And then, of course, you could always take full version, taking the foot high up in the inner thigh. Just make sure that we are avoiding this area right here where the knee is, right? Knees are meant to go forward and back, not side to side. Over time, if you press into that knee joint laterally, it could damage the joint. So we'll just take a few deep breaths here. If this is challenging, but you want to make it a little bit more challenging, you can try reaching the arms up overhead, right? Try not to dump too much weight into this right hip. So if you feel like you're kind of like sinking into the hip, squeeze that right hip in and squeeze everything energetically upward. Good. Maybe even lift your gaze here. Good. If your arms are up, take your hands back to heart center. Right knee moves forward. Release the right foot down, and we'll switch sides. Lift the left heel up. Turn the knee out to the side. Keep the heel high on the calf. You can take the foot on the calf, the whole foot, or take the foot high in the inner thigh. So you choose your Vrikshasana on this side now. Squeeze your right hip in. Find your drishti. And maybe you want to reach the arms up over here to challenge yourself. Good work. Smile always helps. Take your hands back to heart center. Your left knee comes forward. Release the left foot to the floor. All right, from here, you're going to take a forward fold. So maybe your feet come as wide as your mat. Inhale, reach your arms up, and exhale, fold over your legs. So maybe you're letting your arms dangle if the back of the legs are tight, if the lower back is tight. If you're a little more flexible, you can have your hands on the floor. But I want your upper body to completely relax over the lower body here. And there can be a soft bend in the knees. In fact, I encourage it, especially if you're just starting out. Good, and then take your hands to the floor. Step your feet back into a plank pose. So feet can be as wide as your shoulders, hands are under the shoulders, spread the fingers wide, engage the legs, tuck your hips under. There's a soft bend in your elbows, breathe here. Really strong, press the floor away. You always have the option of dropping to your knees. If you do, just make sure the butt's not too high in the air. It's not a tabletop. Your hips would be tucked under, so the thighs would be coming down towards the floor a bit. Good, now everybody drop to your knees and come into that tabletop position. Line up your right wrist with your right knee and your left foot comes behind. All right, so let's take the arm up overhead. This is your side plank modification here. Right? Of course, if you want to go into full side plank, extend the right leg. Take the full expression. Staggering the feet would be probably more beginners, like side plank, Vasisthasana. I'm going to keep with the modified version. Maybe look at the top hand if you want to challenge here. And then bring both hands and left knee to the floor. Sway the hips a bit side to side. And you'll move onto the other side. Extend the right leg back. Reach the right arm up. Again, taking your expression of side plank here. Press down into the floor to lift your hips up high. One more big breath here. And then both hands and knees come to the floor. Separate your knees about halfway between mat distance and fully together. Bring the big toes together, sit back to your heels, and rest your forehead down, Balasana, Child's Pose. Now if your forehead doesn't easily rest, here's where a block might help. You can take the block under the forehead. Go ahead and take a few more big breaths there. In through the nose, out through the nose. And then walk yourself up to a seated position. Extend your legs out long. Bend your right knee in. So now you're facing the long edge of the mat. Bend your right knee in and place the sole of the foot high in the inner left thigh. The left leg is straight, foot is flexed. And from here, take your right forearm on your thigh. Maybe the forearm comes on a block behind you, right? Or even in front of the leg. Just depends on the range of motion. And I can't tell because I can't see you what you need. So you're just gonna have to use your intuition of what feels the best in your body, right? And then from here, reach your right arm up and over your head and take a side bend looking up and under your right arm. Now you want to make sure that that upper body is not moving downward towards the ground. In fact, it's opening out towards the ceiling. Keep this left leg active, so you're flexing the foot, engaging the kneecap of the thigh. Deepen the breath here, so feeling the ribs of the right side expand and contract. Good. And on your next inhale, right hand comes to the floor. You're going to come up onto this right knee. Lift your left arm up and over your head for just a counter pose here. Stretching out the left side now, and then sit back down. Extend the right leg straight out. Your legs are a little wider. Your feet are wider than your hips. And then left foot on the inside of the right thigh. So same thing here, you might want that block. You could just have the arm on the thigh too, the elbow on the thigh. Up to you. All right, and then the left arm reaches up and over. Make sure that right leg is active, foot is flexed. Root down through both your sit bones. Lift the left underarm up towards the ceiling. And then breathe through the left ribs. Shouldn't be any strain in your neck, so move the head around if you're feeling some strain and find something that feels comfortable. Good. On your next inhale, left hand comes down. Come onto that left knee, reach the right arm up and over. Now breathing through the right side. And then come back down to a seated position. And take Baddha Konasana. The soles of the feet are coming together. Knees are out wide. Now if you're a little newer, maybe you want to take more of a diamond-like shape here. And you can always prop up stuff, blankets or blocks underneath your knees if that feels better for your body. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale. You're welcome to round forward if you're in the diamond. And if your heels are closer, try bringing your chest forward and hinging from your hips. Two different poses, but both are good. Every exhalation, maybe you can soften a little bit more. Good, and then inhale, come back up, and we'll make time for final relaxation. Maybe you want a blanket under your head. Maybe you want to roll one up under your knees or your neck. That's pretty comforting as well. And then you'll come all the way down onto your back. Let the feet open up to the corners of your mat. Let your hands rest down by your sides, a little bit away from your hips. Let the shoulders relax into the floor. Tuck your chin slightly so the back of the neck is long. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and take it out the mouth. Shavasana. Scan the body, starting with the space between the eyes. Relax that space. Soften all the muscles in the face, the eyes, the cheeks, the jaw. Relax all of the spaces. Just let your body feel supported by the ground beneath you. Allow your body to soften, relax. Take as much time as you need here. Namaste.